All right, so let us look into shading and adding materials to our object. Cool. So I added the sphere here. Okay, so we'll use this first as our example um, in adding materials. Okay, so let us right click, shade smooth, shade smooth, shade smooth, click and shade smooth. Okay. All right. So each of these. So this is the material tab. Okay. When we go to shading here, when you click this will be the area where you could actually find the objects or the materials here. Okay. So as you can see here, when you select the object, it doesn't have any material here. And you need to see that there are object and world materials in this shading tab. Okay. So we need to add materials to this. So we will be using the shading materials for this one. Okay. Now, you see this is the shading ball. Okay. So that is our environment. And if you want to see the actual environment, you could actually click the viewport shading. Okay. So this is in shading mode. Okay. Blur, right? Opacity, right? You can turn the opacity off. You can turn the blur on if you would like to somehow hide the environment. We add the environment around the model in order for us to simulate realistic lighting. Okay. So, but this is set only on EV. But if you use the rendering for EV, you really have to add a world texture so that we'll be able to simulate something similar to this. Okay. So for now, let's just focus on the materials. Okay. I'll set my rendering here to cycles. Okay. I'll turn my light into a point, but I'll set it into like 5,000 watts. Okay. Then I can duplicate the light. So something like that. So that you could actually see how it looks like. Let's make it white. Okay. This light, I'll turn it into white also so that it won't have any influence coming from the color of the light. Okay, so I'll be shifting from the EV render and the cycles render. Okay, so the materials here. So when you select the object and click here, so this is the material properties. You can see that there isn't any material here. So when you click, it gives you a principled BDSF. So this is a material for 3D, which actually has all of the properties of an object. So it has its base color. So you can change the color of the object, right? Something like very, very red, okay? Then if you want it to look very metallic, so you could, see? So I'm going to also add another one, use the same color. I want you to see the difference between one that is not, this is metallic, the metallic is one, and this one is zero metallic. Okay, do you see the difference? This one really looks like a metal ball, right? This one looks like a plastic ball. So metallic refers to metalness of the object, okay? Not just with the shininess of the object. Now, if we set the specularity, right? The specularity of the object is lost. Then if we turn it back on, like 50%, you could see that there is the shininess on the object, right? So you see this sign, okay? It's shining, right? So when you turn it down, okay? So when you, oh, no, that's roughness. When you turn down specularity, there's no specularity, your shininess. Okay? Pag tinaas mo siya, mas magiging shiny siya. Okay? Now with the metal, when you put it down, so yung specularity ng metal, it's not affected, but you know, there's a little effect of specularity to the metallic surface. Now, if this roughness to that metal is increased, then you are losing some of the specularity because the object is very rough. But if the object is very shiny and the object is like gray, like a shiny chrome ball, then it will actually show all of the environment because it's so shiny, right? So that is the roughness. Now this one, when you turn down the roughness, can also show the environment, although it's not metal, it actually is plastic. So the metalness of the object, 1 gives metallic property to an object, 0 gives it a plasticky property to it. Okay. So specularity would be the shininess. All right. So that's what you could adjust. Now the anistrophic is not really that obvious here unless there's some sort of um, texture added to this. Sheen, not that much. You don't really see it that well. Clear coat, okay, that is for paint. So, hindi naman masyado yan. IOR, this would be for glass. Okay, so you won't see it a lot here unless we set it up as glass. So transmission roughness, alpha, right? This is for glass. We don't we can't really see it right now. So let's add another material. This time, kasi if ever we're going to turn this into a glass, there's a lot of things that we have to set up. But the thing is, you could actually click here. Okay? You can click here and change the surface. You can change the surface into a glass, BDSF. Okay? So yung roughness niya, you can turn it down. Okay, the IOR refers to the index of refraction, yung how light actually refracts inside the glass. Okay. So this is the IOR, the roughness. Okay. Then let's look at it at on cycles. Okay. So since there's no environment here in cycles, what we can do is go to world. Okay, so here is the background color. Now you can like add input, shader, texture. We need to add an environment texture. So the environment texture would be needing an HDRI. So the HDRI is a high dynamic range image. So HDRI environment. Okay. There are free HDRI. Some are studio environment. Some are, realistic 360-degree images. of say garage, a warehouse, a cabin. So it looks like a 3D view of a particular place, right? So that is the HDRI image maps. So I'm going to add it here on open. Then I'll try and find where the environment, where I added the environment. So it's here, okay? But better if it's in the same folder, okay? So now, when you look at the environment, you can see that it's being influenced, it's influencing the the material because we can actually see the environment. Okay, are you guys getting it? So in cycles, we need to really add an environment. Okay, but when we go to cycles, there's a default material, a default environment, but we can like you know, click on scene world so that we could actually see the one that we added on cycles. Okay, so we can turn it on and off. Scene lights, right? So we can turn on the lights coming from our cycles. Okay, so in cycles, you can see that the floor here in the chrome ball, also in the shiny plastic ball. This one is in glass, right? The the roughness like that. We can put it down, so it's very very shiny. Okay, so something like that. Okay, then let's go back to object. Okay, so this is glass BDSF. Okay, let's go back to EV. Okay, let me just see if I could turn on. The only thing that it might annoy you with using Blender is that there are certain features that are actually being shifted all over the place. So you have to find it actually. So I'm looking for something in the viewport that could actually show some sort of transparency in the glass, even if it's in cycles, in EV. Okay. So anyway, all right. So this, let's add another one. Okay. Then if we ever would need to add a texture around a particular object, so we go to add or Shift A, texture. So image texture. So if you can't find it, probably it got you lost it. So just get another one. Right. So that's the image. Okay. Then let's find a basketball. So basketball UV texture. Okay. So we will see if this would actually um, fit. Okay. It depends on the how the ball is actually um, UV. Okay. So this area need to change this to UV editor. So we select this ball. Okay. So on tab edit, you could actually see that the ball is spread out like this. So if we find a texture, we need something that is square. Okay, probably it's this one. Let's try it. So basketball, open, click this one, open image. Okay. Then we have to click the color and connect it to the base color. Okay. So you just click and drag to release or click and drag to connect. So it changes the color to a texture. Okay. Are you getting it? Nagigets nyo ba, guys? So if we are going to make this ball, siguro if this ball has parang like yung roughness, normal, so parang bako-bako, we could actually somehow try and find a, you know, to make it normal generator. Tingnan natin. Normal generator image. Okay. All right. So I'm going to, this is the normal map online. So it actually makes normal maps from image. So I'm going to drag it here. So as you can see, it actually makes this parang bumps, right? So if I can change this to a, no, a sphere, so yung displacement niya, baliktad. It needs to be pa, palabas, right? We can set the strength. Okay. Normals are actually maps that cheats. Okay, it actually cheats your eyes to seeing that there are curves or bumps into a model, but it's just actually math. You know, it's just bouncing certain parts of light in order to make it look like it's bumpy, pero it's not. Okay, so this is what is often used in games in order for it to look like that it actually has details and texture on the model. Okay. So there's more, or there's actually a better, you know, normal map maker, but I'm just doing it because I want you to see it. It's a bit weird because the, oh yeah, the basketball actually has small humps so that you could actually grab it. So let's just make it smaller. Okay, up like so. The level of detail is just enough. Strength. Okay. So let's just download the normal. So download normal map. Okay. I want you to try it also. I'll just send you the image. Then from here, I can add another image texture. So add, Shift A, add, then texture, image, texture. I'm going to put it here, but I'm going to attach it to the normal. Okay, so I'm going to get the normal map, open image, click it to the normal. Okay, so it sort of like has a, a bump. All right, let me turn off the, okay, I think that is the shadow. Yeah, it's the shadow. It's not really working well with this texture and the shadow. It's a bit dark. All right, let me try and render it. When you render, like click render as image, it's just that image that will be rendered. Okay, so we'll see how it looks like. Oh God, I need to render it based on the image. So we won't see anything. We won't see anything. So if I'm going to render something, I need to find my camera. So this camera is actually hidden. So in order for me to use this as my view to look into this particular object, I have to press N, then view, then lock camera to view. Okay, so click that. Then I'm going to press 0 on my keyboard, on my numpad. Okay. So if I am already on in view, I'm going to turn this off so that the camera stays in its place. Okay. So it will stay here. Okay. So if I press 0, then N, camera to view, something like this. Then turn it off. Okay. Then 0. Then click it again, something like this. Turn it off. I hope there's a shortcut key for that, but I have to key bind it first. So I think that would be okay. Then I'll try to render it. So render image. So let's just do a test render. All right, so there's really something wrong with this. So I'm not sure what it is. So buuin lang natin para I can ask other people in Pinoy Blender group. Kasi actually, I just added the texture, then this is what I see. So, right, I'll just screenshot this. Okay, then I can stop it by exiting. Okay, so what if we let go of the texture and we let go of the, wait, let's bring back the texture on the base color. Then we'll render it. So F12. Oh, yeah. So render it. Okay. All right. I think there's something wrong with the normal map. So anyway, I'll just try and fix it later. So yun, the idea is you can add normal maps so that magkakaroon ng bump yung ating object. Okay? Pero hindi tayo nag-add ng maraming detail. We just added bumps. Okay? So with this model that we're doing, so we'll try to somehow cross between a bit yung medyo semi-realistic. Okay? Semi lang, pero stylized pa rin siya. So storefront, 3D. So we'll try and do it like this. Okay? Yung level of detail niya, it's close to parang realistic, semi-realistic. So stylized. Stylized siya. Okay? So we'll try and do it like this. Okay? Para ano siya, stylized siya, pero medyo realistic siya tingnan. Okay? So parang ganito yung gagawin natin dun sa ginagawa natin na storefront. Okay? So we just need to add more things. Okay? Siguro if ever, I'll just try and find some other stuff that we could add so we can populate the interior. Okay? But, you know, ito na lang yung tingnan nyo na medyo parang guide natin for inspiration. Okay? The model in itself is not really that complicated. It's just the rendering. Tingnan nyo yung model. Hindi siya complicated. Talagang ano lang. We just need to put some time and effort in rendering the texture. Okay? Mas okay na yung ganito kaysa naman talon tayo ng talon sa project pero hindi naman natin natatapos. Okay? So, pag tinignan natin yung kanyang diffuse, yung standard na standard na colors niya, wala naman siyang masyadong, masyadong detailed na texture. Okay? So, most of it are just, mga dirty na texture maps. Okay? Normals. So, there are normals on the tarpaulin, on the floor, something like that, on the ground, on the walls. Okay? Ayun, may bisikleta pa, oh. Okay. So, hindi naman siya hyper-detailed, sakto lang. So, it's the lighting. Yun yung natin. We'll focus on, we'll focus in achieving something like this. Okay? At least tong natin hanggang this is our how many meetings na. Siguro at least mga 2 meetings pa. Okay? Ma-texture natin siya and malagyan ng light. Something like this. Okay? Para at least meron tayong isang project na kahit ang portfolio nyo, iisa pa lang, pag pinakita nyo, mag-i-intern kayo sa isang studio, kahit isa pa lang ang ipakita nyo, alam na nila, gets na nila. Kumbaga, hindi na sila magdadalawang isip na i-hire kayo. Kahit iisa pa lang yung ginawa nyo. Okay? So, I hope it gives you an idea of what you would expect. Okay? So, ano lang, tiyaga lang tayo. Tiyagain lang natin. Okay? So, yan. So, yung texturing with the items here. Remember, there are objects that are glass. There are objects that are wood. There are objects na medyo flat. There are objects na medyo dirty. Right? So, yun siya. Then, if ever, for example, we have this object. Okay? Gawin natin siyang glass. Okay? So, new. Then, let's make it a glass. Okay? Roughness. Gawin natin siyang shiny. Oops. Oops. Nakikita niyo naman yung bola. Ayan. Medyo nag-fade lang siya. Okay. Then, let's yung world. Okay naman yung world. Okay. Yung roughness niya 0. Index of refraction 0. Yan siya. So pag mukha talaga siyang salamin, yung ROI niya 0, yung roughness niya nakababa. Now, for example, gusto natin na medyo madumi yung parang madumi yung glass. So roughness, what tayo ng parang roughness map. Hmm. Maybe parang palm dirt or then let's get this. So let me save this. Okay. Just for ano lang naman for sample. I'm going to attach, so I'm going to add another texture, then image. Then I'm going to add it dito sa roughness. I'm going to open it. Then I'm going to get that roughness map. You see what it did? So dumumi yung salamin. Yung value ng ng black is 100. So kung gray 50%. Tapos yung white, yun yung yun yung 0 na yung black, tingnan natin ulit. Okay. Yung white somewhere black here. Okay, 100% the black would be, ang roughness niya ay 0. Yung white, yun yung 100. Okay? Or baliktad. Either way, yun yun. Okay, so tingnan nyo na lang siya. Ayun yung nangyari. Okay? If you want to control, tingnan natin if we could add a level. Standard fill. I think it's not this one. Vector, converter. That's the clamp. Yung clamp kasi is we need to somehow adjust the value. Okay. Ayan siya. So we can actually adjust the amount of roughness by using the min and the max. Oh, shoot! Yan guys. Di ko lang sure kung nag-texture ako. Tagal po ba? Ang render. Ano muna? Ayusin mo muna lahat ng texture, ng shading, lahat-lahat. Oh my God! Nawala! So yun, you just need to lagay mo muna yung texture, lagay mo muna yung shading and lighting. Okay? Pero yung animation, usually, pagka nag-animate ka, usually yung file mo, hiwalay. I-import lang nila yung animation mo, yung animation file mo from Blender, ilalagay siya sa scene. So, i-append siya. So, ganun na nangyayari. I-import siya. Kaya i-import yung animation. Ang iba naman is yung mismong animation area na may animation file na may layout na. For example, naka-layout na siya na ganito. Itatago lahat to in a particular layer or gagawin siyang wireframe para alam nung animator kung ano yung gagalawan niya. Okay? Pero ang tendency niyan is you would have a separate file when you animate. Meron lang siyang meron siyang layout lang nung scene tsaka camera, fixed yung camera. So that pag nag-animate ka, hanggang dun ka lang sa camera na yon. Then once you're done with the animation, i-import yung animation file mo, tong Blender file mo na may animation, dito sa scene file ko na may environment, then doon aayusin yung layout. Para i-render siya ng isa. Magkasama na sila lahat. So medyo mabigat na yun. Okay? So usually, yung ganun, kailangan na ng matindi-tinding computer sa ganun. Okay? So, sa atin, we would have the animation separate. Then we would have the rendering for the environment separate kasi nga baka bumigay yung computer. Now, depende na lang yan if ang magiging capstone nyo ay 3D na film, then kausapin nyo na lang ako pag doon na kayo papunta. Okay, for games naman, i-import lang din naman yung FBX animation sa game engine. Okay? So, when you work in an animation studio, usually hiwa-hiwalay kayo ng trabaho talaga. And they will teach you naman how to actually put all the files together. Minsan server pa. Naka-server pa yon, then tsaka mo huhugutin lahat ng character mo into the scene. So, ganun siya. Okay? So, yung texturing and shading, importante yun kasi we have to set up our yung kulay tsaka lighting ng environment natin para maganda siya tingnan. Then, pwede naman natin isabay yung animation kaso mabigat yung scene kasi ang daming polygons dito sa scene. So, I hope yun, before siya nag-crash, dapat sana nag-save ako. Pero anyway, ano lang naman siya. Balls lang naman and ano. So I hope you understand how the shading actually works. Okay? So wait, let me try. Let me try if I can open the So wait. Ito yung backup. So ito yung backup na isa. So I'm going to rename this rename. Then, storefront 1. Okay? I-change ko siya para malaman ko kung na-save niya yung aking mga Chromeball. Unfortunately, hindi talaga. So, kailangan nyo talaga mag-save na mag-save. Okay? So, I'm going to take it out. So, yun. Ito yung original ko. So, ito yung dati. So, yun. Okay. Next, I'll show you how to use the okay. Yung pagte-texture. So may shading na, may image and all. But in all of that, kasi kailangan natin, we need to learn how to unwrap objects. Okay? Ito yung pinaka masakit sa ulo. Yung pag-unwrap ng object. Okay? So, texturing and unwrapping. So let's say, let's add here a cube. Okay? Oops. Lagi ako napupunta sa W. Pag gumagamit talaga ako ng Maya, yung habit ko bumabalik eh. So, space bar, transform. So this particular object, then this, we need to change this to UV editor. Okay? So, pag inedit mo siya, when you go inside, meron na siyang texture sa loob. Okay? So, may naka-design na sa kanya na texture. So, if we're going to find like a texture ng dice, for example, hanap tayo ng dice. Okay. Yung dice texture na yan, tingnan natin. So this, oops. Right, patayo. Okay. So we need to find something na nakatayo or we could manipulate the object. So, alright, so for example, kunin natin to. Okay. Then, of course, kailangan natin ng material. So we're going to click this. Then we need an image to add to our base color. So add texture, image texture, click here. Click the color to the base color, click open. Okay. Then look for the dice, click. And if you would see here, it's not aligned. So what we're going to do here is we're going to adjust our UV. Okay. So we can select our UV here. So meron siyang points. Meron din siyang edges. You can select edges. You can select faces. Okay. You can select also yung the whole UV selection. So yung lahat siya. So with that, okay, you could use your transform or your G for shortcut for move. Then you can move your object here. Then you can scale it on Z, grab, something like that. Then you can like manipulate this space bar, transform. Okay. So I'll just use the UV editing. So inilagay ko siya dito. I'm going to select this. Move. Okay. Move this and move this. Okay. Then I'm going to select this side. In that side. Yan. So, when you look at our model, so tab, then you just go back to modeling. Okay. Ayan siya. So if you see na merong mga sim, ibig sabihin nun, lampas yun. Okay? Lumampas siya. So, like I could split this. Tapos I could click and drag to combine them again. So dito sa baba, split. Then change this to UV editor. Okay? So if you see na merong white, ibig sabihin may white dito yan. So, move. So yun, na-stretch siya. Okay? That is for ano ha? That is for cubes. Okay? E paano na tong ref? Okay? Paano na tong ating cabinet? Right? This is easy to do because naka-layout na siya. Right? Naka-layout na siya eh. So what if we, let's see, storefront items. Yung may nakita akong box na store, ano eh, na item eh. Storefront na item. Storefront. So, grabe yung tiyaga niya, ang liit. Ayan. So, for example, may wooden stool. Okay? Mag-add na rin tayo ng wooden stool or box. Lagay muna tayo ng box. Ano ba yung box na to? Japanese fruit box. Cardboard box. Tignan natin kung may texture. Ganyan maghanap ng texture. Cardboard box texture. Tanggalin na natin yung Japanese. Gawin na lang natin cardboard box texture. UV. To find something that is UV. Parang ganyan. Gagawan nyo siya ng layout. Pag wala talaga, ang gagawin natin, we have to make our own. Ganun na mangyayari. So, kukuha tayo ng ano talaga. Kukuha talaga tayo ng texture ng box, tapos ile-layout natin. Okay. Anyway, sige. Kasi kung ano lang to, cereal box texture. Ang dali yun. Kaso, Hindi bagay sa theme nung ano natin eh. Hindi bagay sa theme. Wala, hindi, Japanese kasi ginagawa natin. So, hindi bagay. Oh, may Kellogg's. Good. Sige. Kunin natin to. I'm going to get this. Kellogg's. Okay. Save it. Good thing somebody actually saved it. Kellogg's. Okay. Okay. Alright. So, itong box na to madali yan. Pero paano if it is a different box? Oops. My God. Ano ba talaga? Okay. So, transform. Okay. So, what if this is a Japanese cereal box? Okay. So, cereal box siya na Japanese. Now, in order for us to be able to exactly fit the cereal box, we need to somehow make sure yung cereal box natin is the same size as our model. So we're going to click and drag this image. Then we're going to take our model here, Shift Z. Okay. So tab, then grab your vertex, drag it up like so, like that. Okay. So in terms of thickness, Shift Z, tab. Let's rotate this, rotate on Z, 90 degrees. Press 1 to view. Okay, it's something somewhere like this. All right. So it looks okay. So let's rotate on Z 90 degrees again. Okay. All right. So when we click tab, you would see now that the UV is not the same as the object. So that is a problem. We cannot use this anymore. So what we have to do is to split it up. Okay. We can either use the shortcut is U, unwrap, smart UV project, then click OK. Pero it still is wrong. Okay, it still is wrong. Okay, so um, I think what we need to do is it Control A, apply, Control A, apply all transforms. Okay, now we have a problem with the gizmo. So object, set origin, origin to, geometry, then tab, U, smart UV project, there you go. Now, if that doesn't happen, it means we have not applied the transform. So we need to apply it first so that that shape would be carried on to this particular UV, okay? So if you would see, the UVs are connected on top, okay? So meron siyang takip dito. So we need to find out which one is which. Okay? So now if we have, okay, listen if you have a texture that looks like this, then it will be a lot easy to put this around, right? But I think I'll just show you how to properly do it instead of cheating your way out of it, okay? So what we're going to do is remember, ang cereal box nabubuksan nabubuksan siya sa taas. So dito siya nabubuksan. Okay? So in order for us to open this, we need to cut seam. Okay? So click this. Okay? Then right click, clear seam. Okay? Select the edges on top. So 1, 2, 3. Right click, mark seam. So it becomes black. Okay? Then we're going to click here. Right click. No, not that one. We're going to click here. Ito yung bubuksan natin. Right click, mark seam. So we're marking the areas where we are opening it for our UV texture. So pag sinabi nating UV, di ba XYZ sa 3D? XYZ. Sa 2D, sa texture, it's UV. It's UV XYZ. Nagets nyo guys? So UV is for 2D texture. XYZ is for 3D. Okay? So, I added the seam here. Kung gusto nyo i-clear seam, you could just select, tapos right-click, clear seam. Okay? So, I'm going to select this again. Then I'm going to click just U, then unwrap. Okay? So, now it unwraps like this. I'm going to select the object or the UVs. Then I'm going to rotate it. So, rotate on 90 degrees. Then grab, scale it a little bit, grab like so. Okay. Now we're going to get this UV, select image, UV, export UV layout. Please guys, and listen export UV layout. Then you have to label the layout as serial, okay, serial underscore UV, export UV layout. Okay. Then we would need now Photoshop, okay? So sa klase ko to sa kabila eh. So I'll just close this muna. Okay. So I'm going to open the file. Bukas na naman siya kaya ito na yung gagamitin ko. Storefront. So the serial UV is here. So I'm going to open it here. Then I'm going to get the serial box texture. Ilalagay ko siya dito sa Photoshop file. So I'm going to get this, drag it here. Okay. Enter, right click, rasterize. Okay. I'm going to bring down the UV. Okay, ito yung UV natin, then I'm going to lock. Okay, ilalak ko siya. Now, as you can see, pwede nyo i-duplicate para mas makita nyo yung UV. Okay, tapos i-merge nyo lang, tapos i-lock nyo ulit. Okay, so, itong ilalim, ili-layout ko siya doon sa cover ng Kellogg's. Right? Now, kung hindi siya sakto, okay, if there is like misalignment to this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this na. Okay? So I'm going to get the side here. So I'm going to edit it. Nagsiselect nga ako, bakit wala? What the? Wait, let me save the PSD. Nagaganito nung isang araw pa to, nakainis. Talagang magpapalit na ako ng ano talaga. Baka mag-clip studio na ako. Nakakainis ang Photoshop eh. My file, open, storefront. All right. So I'm going to select okay. Kailangan ko i-select yung area na yun. Okay. Pero pwede na siguro, I think. Okay na yun. Kukunin ko na lang ito kasi sobra siya. So I'm going to get the side. Kukunin ko tong side na to ng Kellogg's. I-align ko siya. Okay? Kulang. Copy. Okay? Paste. Okay? Then I'm going to move this dito sa may part na kailangan ko. Okay? So what's happening is, chop-chopin ko na to. Okay? Kasi hindi talaga siya align na align. Mukhang putol tong box na to eh. So copy, oops. Copy, paste. Then move it to the position. Then kunin nyo itong kabila. Mukhang sira pa nga yung kabila. So V. Mukhang nasira pa nga yung box. Okay. Sa pagkakatiklop. Then itong taas. Copy paste. Copy paste. Then ibaba nyo siya. Kung kulang siya, oops. I-resize nyo na lang. Okay? Ang importante kasi is, hindi kulang. Okay? Walang puti or something. So we have to make adjustments. So dito, dito. Oops. Mali cut ko. Copy paste. Something like that. Since meron siyang cut dito, ang gagawin natin, aayusin natin to. Okay? So yung part na to, we're going to select it. O ano pa pala? Transform it. Kulang eh. Ayan. Okay? Then, we're going to somehow edit this. Copy paste. Kung Photoshop gamit nyo, meron nun siyang content aware, then go ahead, use that. Okay? Yan. Basta importante, sakto eh. Okay? Then yung original sa likod, ihiwalay na rin natin itong front cover. para sure ball. Okay? Copy paste. Let's make another layer. Then for this, what we're going to do is we're going to add certain colors to certain areas. Like for example, itong area na to, this is white. Okay? So usually, fini-fill in siya ng white. So kung ano yung kulay niyan, okay? Kung ano yung kulay nito, so let's say brush. Basta nasa likod siya, then it's a new layer. Okay? Ilalagyan siya ng ganyan. Yan yung bleed. Okay? So since ito puti-puti, this one, yan. So ito, blue, magsiset tayo ng bleed. Yan. Okay? Okay? Yung bleed na yun is para lang dun sa ano, hindi masyadong halata. Okay? Then here, white. Then white siya dito. Okay? Then yung part na to, pwede nyo ano to, i-fix to. So click this. Yan. Okay? Then balik nyo dun sa ano, sa baba. Then this would be white. Then this one would be yellow. Kailangan kasi natin ng bleed, okay? So kung nag-graphic design kayo, matatandaan nyo yung salitang bleed. Okay. Like I can erase yung mga parts na ganyan. Okay? Since I'm going to add bleed lines, something like that. Okay? Then we turn off this. Okay, to turn off nyo yan and save it. Save changes. Export as PNG or JPEG. PNG na lang. So PNG, then save. Save it as, not UV, save it as diffuse. When say diffuse, it's colored. Okay? Diffuse. So serial, then diffuse. Okay? Then let's go back to our serial box. Okay? Then let's go to shading. Or let's say dito na rin sa dito. So we just change this to shader editor. Okay? So ito yung shader editor natin, object. Let's add an object. Okay? So it's this one. Let's add Shift A, add an image texture. Okay. Then we're going to add the color here. Then open the serial, where is it? The serial diffuse. Dapat magkakasama to. Itong serial diffuse na to, dapat na andito sa loob. Lagay natin sa loob. Okay? Diffuse. Open. Okay? So, ano siya? Baliktad. So, rotate on Z 180. Oops. Rotate on Z 180. Then enter. Okay? Alright. So, this is how it looks like. Okay? May black dito sa baba. I think we need to make adjustments on that part, yung black dito. So, ayun, dito pala siya. Ito yung black. Okay? So, kaya tayo nag-add ng bleed. So, we need to click this. Shift D. Okay? Nailagay ko sa maling layer. Sorry. So, stamp. I-merge ko lang. Soft edge para pag yan. Pero pag may content aware kayo guys, ano na to? Mas madali na siya. Anuhin lang natin. Okay, then I'm going to save it again, export as PNG. Okay, back up, diffuse, save. Now, pwede rin kayong gumamit ng PSD. Pwede nyo gamitin yung PSD na yun. Okay, kaso nga lang, baka mamaya may edit nyo yung PSD, hindi nyo napansin. So, it's better na per map na lang talaga siya. Okay? So, okay. Save. Nakalimutan ko mag-save. Okay. Open. Yan. There you go. Okay. Then, lagyan natin siya ng bevel modifier. Maliit lang. Very, very light. Sakto lang. Okay. So, ayan. Okay. So, that is how you add texture to objects. That is just the simple That is one of those simple methods, okay? So if ever we have like more complicated parts to our scene, okay? For example, yung chair natin, tapos uh, yung cabinet, yung ref, okay? So we'll do everything and texture all of it since ano lang naman siya. Flat naman yung mga ibang objects dyan. Medyo ano lang siya. It's a bit tedious when you do the texturing. Yun yung medyo medyo nakakapagod sa 3D. Yung UUV at pagte-texture. Pero pag tiningnan nyo naman siya, once it's rendered, naka 3D na siya, di ba? Ang ganda niya tingnan. So, yun lang talagang ano siya. Matrabaho lang talaga siya. Okay? Scene world. Okay, so let's go to shading. Do you get it, guys? Do you get the concept? So, same din with the principles dito sa mga bilog na to. Ganun din. Bibiyakin natin siya sa gitna. Same with this one. Some maps can be generated. Like for example, if we are going to use this particular object, okay? Since ano naman siya, hindi naman siya really important na item, we could just, UV it. Pag nag-UV tayo dito, when we UV this object, okay? So, select. Hindi pa naka-apply sa kanya yung solidify. Right? So, once we apply yung texture dito, makikita natin siya din sa kabilang side ng solidify na object. Okay? Although hindi naman siya ganun ka-importante, parehas lang naman din na makikita sa labas and loob. And then I think it would be fine. Pero if we somehow, kasi may loob siya. So let's say for example, with this one, I'm going to apply the solidify, labas, apply. So, Smart UV project, click OK. Then I'm going to change this to UV editor. So, from this, Smart UV project to this, okay? So, if we add for example, we add a, usually, ang kulay naman ng mga ganito na mga chairs, usually are red, di ba? Ito yung mga red na mga red na upuan, tapos hindi siya metallic, so it's more of plastic. So yung roughness nito, anuhan na lang natin, dudumihan na lang natin siya. Okay? So, pag inalis natin yung specularity niya ng konti. Ayan. So, it seems medyo okay na siya. Right? Then, ang kailangan na lang nito would be some dirt, some, mga ilang details para magmukha siyang madumi. Right? Pero kung ang view naman natin is ganito kalayo, well, it's not really that much of an issue. Ang nagiging issue natin dito would be itong mga pader. Ito, at saka itong sign. Okay? So let's say itong store sign na to, i-apply natin yung ginawa natin sa serial dun sa store sign. Okay? So save, don't forget to save. So, Japanese store sign code. Yun nga lang, be careful when you use mga ganitong klase ng sign. Pag hindi natin naiintindihan, gamit ng Google Translate. Okay? So dito kasi sa image natin, image. Right? Ganito yung itsura niya. Okay? Pwede nating i-edit to at ilagay natin siya dito. Okay? Kaso nga lang, from how I see this, it looks very old. So medyo old na siya. So, yan, pag-iisipan mo talaga siya kung kukunin mo ba siya. Okay? Or gagawa ka. Some sort. Okay? So, hindi ko lang sure what it means. Pero let me try Google Lens. Tingnan ko lang yung translation. Ayaw mag-translate. Wait. Nahirapan siyang i-recognize. Anyway, sige. Gamitin natin yung image dito for practice. Okay? So, let's go to UV editor. Then, try natin to select all, unwrap. So it's not working. So Control A, apply all transform, edit, unwrap. Again, smart UV project, then okay. So ayan, somehow it did the job for us, right? So itong ganitong layout, okay na rin naman to. But somehow we need to find out which one is which. Okay, kung alin dito yung nasa harapan. Okay? So, pag ganito, hindi tayo sure, usually gagamit tayo ng UV checker. Okay? Yung UV checker natin, malalaman natin kung ano yung direction and size ng ating object. Okay? So, UV checker. Okay? So, let's go to shading. Shader editor. Okay? So, let's remove, okay, tab, out. Let's remove this material. Let's make a new one. Tapos, texture, image. Let's connect it to the base color. Click open. Then get the UV checker. Ayan. Okay. Then let's go back to the UV editor. Open the UV checker. Okay. So, ito yung itsura niyan. Okay. So, we're going to select this. We're going to rotate on 90 degrees. No. So, rotate on 180. No. So, rotate on negative 90 degrees. Grab, scale it in ng konti kasi hindi siya kasi lampas. Ayan. So, ito yung itsura niya. Okay? So, that's the UV checker. Alright? So, ang part ng harapan natin would be this part. Ito yung front. Ito yung front natin. Okay? So, pag nag-edit tayo, yan yung ating ifo-focus natin yung attention natin dito. So, we're going to select all of the UVs. Again, UV, export UV. Then go here, sign underscore UV, export UV layout. Okay. Save Blender, go to Photo P, File, Open, sign UV, open it. Then open your store. Okay. Copy. Let's just copy the sign. So yung sign lang kailangan natin. So let's get this. We'll be doing some painting. Oops. We'll be doing some painting. Copy paste. Okay. So again, copy, sign, paste. Control Alt T. So ito yung sign. Okay, ito siya, ganyan siya kalaki. Okay, let's put this down, tapos ilock natin yung nasa taas. So we need to fit this in. Then Control Alt T. Kailangan nating i-fix yung ating object somehow. Like this. That. Yung sign natin is very talagang ano siya, it really looks so old, right? So I think what would be best for this is to model the sign to look old, right? Pero for this particular exercise, I just want you to UV it so that ma-practice kayo, okay? So then right click, hardness, okay? So kunin na lang natin yung parang wood grain, I think. Now, it would be better if ginawa nyo to sa likod ng, ng object. Okay? Ginawa ko kasi sa ibabaw, which is mali. Pero anyway, just for the sake of demonstration, okay? Pero pag mag-edit kayo, lagay nyo sa likod. Okay? So you'll be doing some texture painting. Right? So something like that. Tapos, lalagyan natin ng konting dumi-dumi para hindi pare-parehas yung kulay. May variation yung tone. Okay? Alright. So, Yung likuran niya naman is not really that important, pero i-fill in na rin natin. Okay? Lagyan na rin natin siya ng laman. So, brush. Lagyan na rin natin ng laman. Again, tumihan lang natin ng konti. So, let's export this. PNG, save. Change the name to sign diffuse. Okay. Then let's go to Blender. Okay. Now, this particular checker, we need to change this. Okay. So, select nyo ulit yung, yung banner, object, origin. Then, let's go to the shading editor. Let's change this. I-change natin siya into the sign diffuse. Double-click. Okay? So, yan yung shine niya ngayon. Okay? Yung quality lang nung image medyo mababa, pero if we're going to redo this, we'll probably be recreating this and painting this to make it look old. Okay? So, ganun siya. So, pag tinignan mo siya, yan. But this side, kailangan magmukha tong pala, like this. Kasi yung sign na yan, usually tarp yan na binabalot. So, I actually made the wrong choice of color. I should have used red and white para magmukha siyang ibinalot doon sa sign. Okay? So, ganyan siya. So, pag nalagyan na ng yan, ng kulay and texture yung wood and sign. So, it's going to look better and better. Okay? Yan siya. Yung plants dito, like ito texture lang natin yung ilan, pero maglalagay tayo ng plant na galing na mismo sa Blender mismo. Alright? So, ganyan siya. Tingnan nyo natin if I can change. So, instead of this color, ito yung gamitin natin. Save it, then pangalanan nyo ng iba para hindi masayang. So, change this to this one instead. Then let's add a bevel. So, ganyan siya. So, yun. Okay? Nakakagets nyo guys? Medyo matagal lang yung process, but, you know, it's just repeating the the process over and over. Yun lang naman yun. Okay? So, guys, yung ibang kulang dito, okay, gawin nyo na. Yung ref, yan, tapos yung ito. Add in whatever it is that we need. Okay, tapos, gawin nyo to. Okay? I want to see this and the banner. Okay? I-texture nyo siya. Okay? Para dun sa exercise. Then, I'll find the textures para yung image texture na lang ang i-edit nyo para hindi kayo magtagal sa kakahanap ng mga image textures na gagamitin. So ako na maghahanap, bibigay ko na lang sa inyo. Okay? So, do you have any questions? Nagigets nyo ba? Medyo mahirap lang talaga mag-UV. Yun yung isa sa problem eh. Pero kailangan kasi. Okay. Any questions? Guys. Yung low poly art kasi, I could like make you do low poly art. Ang problem, eh, you know, pag low poly kasi, low poly art. 3D. Hindi naman kasi lahat ng client ay low poly. Kasi dapat matuto kayong gumawa ng medyo advanced na 3D model so that pag gumawa kayo ng mas simple, it will become easier for you kasi kaya niyong gumawa ng medyo mas mabigat. Okay? Kasi naman ganito ituro ko sa inyo tapos ang ipapagawa pala sa inyo ay medyo highly detailed. Baka awayin niyo ako, 'di ba? So, itong ganito, maniwala kayo sa akin, these are just colors. That's it. Kaso hindi ganito lahat ang nagpapagawa. Hindi ganito lahat eh. Hindi ganyan eh. So, dapat matuto rin kayong mag-texture. That's why we're just focusing on one project pero medyo marami siyang laman. Okay? Yung ibang parts dito, maghahanap ako ng pwedeng i-import na mga accessories. Okay? Then para at least medyo makabawas ng imo model. Pero yung mga textures na i-add natin para dito sa tarp, tapos sa walls, ako na maghahanap. Basta ang importante sa akin, ayusin nyo kung ano yung diniscuss ko ngayon, gawin nyo. Okay? Itong mga to, yan. Lahat ng naandun sa diniscuss ko, i-add nyo. Okay? Pati to, importante ito. Tsaka yan. Kasi yung UV, dapat matutunan nyo talaga yan kasi ang bread and butter kasi talaga ng 3D nasa model at texturing. Okay? So if ever na mapunta kayo sa graphic design tapos gagawa ka ng blocks lang na letra, madali na yun. Kasi nagkaya mong gawin to eh. Di ba? So, ganun. So, ako na yung maghahanap ng ibang assets ng mga pang-texture natin. Okay? So, yung serial box, ano nyo lang wait, ilalagay ko na dun sa assets natin. Sa tuwa. Um, 3D. Okay? Ilalagay ko dito yung yung textures na kailangan natin. But for now, ang kailangan lang naman natin yung kailangan lang natin yung dice, yung sign. Kayo na mag-edit So, itong checker, tapos yung sign kayo mag-edit, gamitin niyo yung okay? Ito yung store, yung dice, yan. Then yung serial, yan, mamili kayo diyan sa dalawa na yan. Okay? So ayan yung files. Dadagdagan ko na lang yan ng ibang mga mga posters na pwede nating i-add in some items. Pag nakakita ako ng mga 3D models na pwedeng i-add, then i-add ko na lang din para ma-accessorize natin yung scene. Pero kung ano yung pinapagawa ko sa inyo, ay gawin nyo. Okay? Meron pa nga itong may scooter pa. Diba? Pero bisikleta na lang ang gawin natin. Medyo mabilis kasi gawin ng bisikleta eh. Okay? So kayong tawag dito, if you might be wondering, parang iisa yung project. For now, iisa siya, pero ang dami nating gagawin. Kasi before kayo maka-arrive, before you arrive on something like this, okay? Aralin muna natin yung yung medyo realistic yung approach. Okay? We can do it like this, yung ganyan. Yung medyo stylized na watercolor. Ang problem lang is maliit masyado yung market nyo. So kailangan medyo mapunta tayo sa ganito. Yung ganyan. Dito tayo mapunta. Yan. Stylized siya pero hindi super stylized. Okay, so saktong stylized lang siya. Okay? Then we probably might use Substance Painter just in case, or if not, bahala na kung ano mangyari. So, it's most likely would be something like this. Okay? I'll be uploading it sa Facebook natin, sa YouTube. Bantayan nyo doon. Okay? I-mirror ko na rin siya dito sa ating sa dito sa Tuwa Learning. Nakalimutan ko lang kasi. Pero usually sa natin, sa Facebook group natin, lagi siyang naandun. Tingnan nyo lang lagi. Okay? So, do you have any questions so far? Before we end the session? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yung iba yata hindi na ikinig. 5, 6. Sinong hindi pa sumasagot? Okay, sige, I'll upload it right away. Si Jade. Jade? Nandiyan ka ba? Jade, igalaw mo ang baso kung naririnig mo kami. Okay, yung mga kulang, please ha. Kung ano yung kulang, pakigawa. Okay? Habulin. Naandito sa Facebook group natin yung video. Balik-balikan nyo lang dito. Okay? Nilalagay ko naman siya dito. Ayan o. Okay? Dalawa yung klase na bina-back and forth ko dito. Okay? Tapos sa Tuwa Learning, kasi medyo malag yung So dual learning, ilalagay ko rin siya, okay? So, I'll see you guys next week. Yung assignment sa 2D ha, pakigawa, okay? I'll see you guys next week. Stay healthy. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.